Hello, class. Welcome to Learn English Now. And I see you all have made it back again, and that is great because one of the most important things to learn and to speak a new language is to be there every day and to use that language, okay? And that kind of gets back into what our weekly objective is. So, our weekly objective for this, all the lessons we've been learning this week and past lessons, is to just have a conversation with a native speaker discussing information about family members. You may discuss about your family members or their family members. The nice thing is every speaker has a family, so you can ask them questions about their family and they can answer the questions, and in that way you can continue the conversation and get practice using the language. And these are pretty simple things to do, so it really helps you to get going using the language. Okay, so that's our weekly objective, and today's lesson is in the last previous lesson we created a family tree and we used this family vocabulary to ask questions about family members such as uh, Jeff, do you have a father? Yes, I have a father. Things of that nature. But in real conversation, people are going to be talking about things in different tenses, in the past or in the future, etc. So in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to learn. We've already learned how to use the past tense in our words. So now what we're going to do is use this past tense in family the family relationships uh, category. Okay, so we're going to basically repeat the lesson we did last time, except now we're going to do it in the past tense. So for example, last time I would say, Jeff, do you have a father? You would say, yes, I have a father. Well, now we're going to start asking questions and answering questions, or answering questions in the past tense. Okay, so we'll do a guided practice where I'll walk you through a conversation, and then we're going to do an independent practice where you're going to use a website and create your own skits. And then later today, we may have an assessment. Okay, so if you remember last week, we did our family tree. There's our family tree. This is just a refresher here. I would say, uh, Pedro, do you have a mother? Yes, you have a mother. I would say, Pedro, do you have a father? Dad. Yes, dad is the same thing. Good point. Okay, good job remembering that. Okay, then we did a more detailed family tree, and here's the vocabulary review. This is here just for your reference, so please go ahead and review these if you have any questions. Okay, so let's start a guided practice skit. Okay, so Pedro, come stand here and let's see if we can do this together. So I ask you a question. I say, do you have a father? What is his name? And you, Pedro replies, yes, his name is Jeff. He retired in 2012. Oh, great, good for him. It's always nice to retire. What was his occupation? Okay, my father was an engineer. Did your mother graduate from college? Yes, she, what word do I use here? Graduated, yes. She graduated from college many years ago. All right, so you guys are already catching on. You're doing a great job. Okay, so the idea here is just like in the previous lesson, we're going to use these games. So this is going to be a independent practice you can do is you're going to go to this website such that you can choose you can choose games about families, like my dad, older people, and it just lets you practice. There's many different games in here, and it lets you practice games and vocabulary and word usage independently on your own. Okay, so we're going to spend about 15 minutes doing this, and I'm going to walk around the class and I'm going to help everybody make sure you're working on the right lessons. And then after we do this, we're going to move on to our assessment, okay? Or our, and in this, what you're going to do is I want you to be a little more creative here. What I want you to do is get in groups and start discussing and thinking about how you would create your own computer games that would help people learn how to use English and how to use the now and the past tense and all the tenses you know and all the vocabularies you know at this time. So if you could design a computer game that would help people um, learn what you know now, how would you design that game? What kind of games would you make? Okay, so remember now, we want to stay in line with the objective, and the objective is a conversation with any native speaker by learning about families and activities using present and past tense to have a conversation. So that's the goal is we want to be able to just walk up to a native speaker and start discussing things about their family. Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much. And I'm going to let you guys get started to work on your independent practice on your computer games. And I'm going to be walking around and watching, helping you guys as needed. And then we're going to get into groups and start thinking about how you design your own computer game. And then each person is going to individually design their own game. Okay. All right. So thanks a lot and have fun.